FM News Talk 97.1.
On demand audio. You're listening to Allman in the Morning. Common Sense Radio.
Good morning, you bunch of drunks.
Just love that story about the Troy bank robber who was confronted by the banker with a .380. Fantastic. This guy walked into this bank in Troy with a mask on, Chucky. You know, the Child's Play horror movies, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And the Post, Kim Bell and their story in the Post, it's a fantastic story, by the way. Apparently the robber missed the sign on the front door that says, management recognizes the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution as an unalienable right of all citizens. So this guy walked out with this bank bag full of cash, and the bank president, David Thompson, followed him out into the parking lot, pulled his Colt .380, and said, "Sir, get out of the truck. You're not going anywhere." And the guy, the robber, didn't have any weapon of his own. And it says here, Thompson and another bank official, who also carries his own weapon, pulled the man from the truck. So there are two guys at the bank with guns, armed. That's fantastic. It's a great story. I'm going to try to get that guy on. Good for him. Welcome to America, everybody. All right, so Axelrod says he's going to shave his mustache off, that ridiculous mustache. He's had that mustache for 40 years. Says he's going to shave his mustache off if he wins a couple of states at the
Here's
Minnesota.
what is true. In the era of super PACs, there's a lot of money out there, and people can take flyers on states that they don't necessarily think they're going to win. I'm telling you, Joe, with all due respect to the public polls that are out there, they are all over the map. I can only rely on the information that I have, that I count on, that is solid research. I will come on Morning Joe, and I will shave off my mustache of 40 years if we lose any of those three states.
And why would he? The question I have is, if you lose any of those three states, and ultimately that will cause the destruction of Obama's reelection efforts, who wants to talk to you the day after the election? You know? Why does Axelrod assume that after Obama loses, they're going to all want to have David Axelrod on the air, or that David actually is even going to show up? Joe Biden with a winner here. Check this out.
As they say in my business, I'm gonna give you the whole load today.
Who do you love?
So I like the fact that he called it my business, because that says everything you need to know about how Joe Biden feels about his public service, that it's actually a business. Oh, by the way, Biden, who talks a lot about skin in the game, still wondering what size of a check he wrote to the American Red Cross and how it compares, let's say, to the check that Mitt Romney wrote to the American Red Cross. Has Obama written a check to the like a personal check to the American Red Cross, I wonder? I know Romney has. I'd like to know whether these other two guys have. Biden, by the way, was in Florida here. Listen to this.
Cleveland Plain Dealer, one of the major newspapers in the state, said.
He was in Florida. Talking about the virtues of the Cleveland Plain Dealer. Jay Leno all over Obama. Check this out.
Well, don't ask, don't tell is back. Not for gays in the military. It's President Obama's new policy for questions about Libya. Don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
all right.
story.
In the meantime, we're looking at the state totals for the Electoral College. And here's how Toure interprets the way the map looks. Check it out.
The thing that stands out for me in this is look at the South, all red. And it reminds me of what Andrew Sullivan pointed out this weekend is the Confederacy.
Yeah, of course it does. Because you're trying to scare and conjure black people in this country to believe that somehow the election of Mitt Romney will translate into what? Slavery, or I don't even know what he's talking about. Earlier, we had a phone call. Eric called in and said, yeah, but you know what? It is like that. It's a revolt against the feds. And I'm telling you, that's not why Toure and Andrew Sullivan are bringing this up. They're bringing this up because they want to scare people and conjure the race stuff. And that's why they're bringing it up. Talked about Chris Christie earlier. Here's a little kind of compendium of Chris Christie love of President Obama. Check it out.
You may not know this, but the president loves me. He really does. He loves watching me on TV. He loves the stuff I say. He loves me.
I have to give the president great credit. He's been on the phone with me 3 times in the last 24 hours. I've been on the phone with him, like I said, yesterday personally 3 times. He called me for the last time at midnight last night asking what he could do. He gave me his number at the White House, told me to call him if I needed anything, and he absolutely means it. Right now I have nothing but praise for the way the administration has handled that and coordinated with us at the state level. This is the oath I took, and I quite frankly don't care about the election at this moment.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about that statement. But otherwise, listen, these are 2 guys doing their jobs. Chris Christie does have a lot at stake, by the way. 2013, he's got a re-election coming up. But other than that, I'm really not too concerned about him loving on Obama that way. I am sick of seeing him. I'm tired of seeing those guys in front of microphones. It's all Chris Christie seems to be doing is standing in front of microphones with about 5 guys behind him, and it's all I'm seeing. So I'm getting kind of tired of that. But other than that, I'm sure Chris Christie has to do what he's got to do. Greg, what's up, man?
Well, I think Christie knows how to play the game, and what's really going on here is Christie's state is in trouble. He needs federal money, and he's dealing with a guy that has publicly stated that he punishes his enemies. And you cannot be against Obama and expect to get federal dollars.
Yeah, you got to hedge your bets, man. You got to do what you got to do. And Chris Christie's doing it. And by the way, a lot of those snippets about President Obama are a result of Christie being asked about the president. People may be trying to get him to criticize him, and that's just not going to happen and shouldn't during this time.